When it comes to meal times for people living with dementia, it's all about how we communicate, set up the task, and set up what they can see at the table. A lot of times people with dementia have limited vision. Sometimes it starts looking like monocular or binocular vision. So you can try to set up the table to see what they would see. Sometimes if you're not sure what they can see, it can help to put up binocular eyes and look at what you think they're able to look at. We know that persons with dementia might not be hearing or perceiving us unless we approach from that line of sight too. We do this gently to not scare them. We get low, below their eye line to not feel threatening to them, and we say their name to draw their attention to us. And we can gently touch their arm on their dominant side too. Even though it seems obvious to us that it's mealtime, it helps to say something that helps the person know what's going on, like it's breakfast. If the food is in the person's line of sight, we can try helping them get started with eating, such as getting some food on their utensil and handing the utensil to them. And we can tell them what it is. Hey Max.
Hello.
How are you?
Very good.
Good. It's time for breakfast.
Oh, I'm not hungry.
No, you're not too hungry?
Not too hungry.
Well, this is a bagel.
Oh, that looks good.
Here you go.
Thank you.
If the person doesn't keep eating on their own, we know that their dementia makes it hard for them to continue to sequence the steps of eating. So we adjust our approach. Maybe we can assist them by continuing to stab food with the utensil if they don't keep doing it on their own, and keep handing the utensil to them over and over. Or if they can't bring the utensil to their mouth, we can try hand under hand, where we hold the silverware for them, but we put their dominant hand over ours so their arm is participating in the hand-to-mouth motion, which makes their brain more involved in the task and even cues them to open their mouth at the right time instead of dodging the silverware. We continue to flow with what the person needs, not asking too many questions or offering too many choices, as that can be overwhelming to the person with dementia. And sometimes while they're eating, they can start to become extra aware of all of their bodily sensations, which means we might have to pause mealtime to get up and move or use the bathroom. So we just hold space for those needs that might arise during mealtime.